overview. Let us have a look at the overview. The learning objectives. By the end of this section, you will be able to
understand what a letter is and its types, develop the skills of writing a letter. Hi friends, we all write letters, right? At least our parents do. Do you know what a letter is? A letter is the exchange of written or printed communications. There are two basic types of letters: formal letters and informal letters. Here comes a question. What are formal and informal letters? Observe the following messages sent by two different people. This is to bring to your kind attention that I'm in need of one's help, expecting the response at the earliest possible. Hey buddy, I'm stuck in a problem and I'm in dire need of your help, man. Shall dial you up a couple of hours later. The first one is formal and the second one is informal. Here is another question. What made them formal and informal? Let us now see the differences between formal and informal letters. The style of writing, or the way the words are used to express ideas, makes them formal or informal. Every situation can be expressed with different words put together. The way we address a friend is different from the way we address our teacher. Based on the occasion, the tone, vocabulary, and syntax change. This variation in the styles of writing marks the difference between formal and informal writing, in this case, formal and informal letters. Informal letters include letters to friends, relatives, parents, siblings, etc. Formal letters include business letters, letters to higher officials, letters to government officials, etc. Now, carefully observe the format of an informal letter and remember it. Consider it as a paper. The letter starts with heading, which is written on the top right corner of the paper. It comprises place, followed by a comma and date, followed by a full stop. Then, to the left side of the page and below the heading, greeting or salutation is written. The greeting must be followed by a comma. After the salutation, from the left side of the page, the content of the letter is written in the body section. If the body is more, we divide it into paragraphs properly. Below the body section, the conclusion of the letter is written. After the conclusion, the complimentary close is written. Below the closing, signature, that is the name of the sender, is written. After the letter is completed, the to address, that is the address of the receiver, is written on the envelope. Here is an informal letter from a son to his mother. Observe it for better understanding. Dear Mom, I'm sending this letter to tell you how much fun I'm having at Aunt's house. Aunt is very affectionate towards me. She cooks every dish and likes to eat just like you. Guess what? There is a swimming pool in the house and Uncle taught me swimming. Their son Peter is very active and we are having a good time here. We go to the ground every day and play cricket. We both will be in at the same time always. He became a very good friend of mine. I miss you and Dad a lot. I will be back in a week and will tell you everything. With love, John. Now, observe the format of the letter. It started with a heading, then the greeting is written. Then, the body of the letter is written, followed by the conclusion. After this, the closing is written. Finally, the signature is written. Here is an informal letter written by Ramesh to his friend Suresh about their childhood days. Observe it carefully. Hyderabad, 12/11/2012. Dear Suresh, this is Ramesh. I apologize for not meeting you during your visit to Hyderabad last week. Unfortunately, I had a meeting in my office. I remember how we enjoyed our childhood days in Manikonda village. Every day we played together in our garden. Our family was very big. There were 12 members in our family. I remember how we played in the moonlight. Our grandma used to give us fruits and biscuits. Our grandpa used to tell us fairy tales about the princes, warriors, and the village boys. Now, I'm working at Microsoft, a software company in Hyderabad, as a computer programmer. I'm married and we have a child. My wife works at Dell, Hyderabad as system analyst. You know, the city life is quite busy. We start in the morning, leave our child at the baby care center, and come back in the evening with faded faces. We hardly find time to sit together. How disgusting! We work with computers, think like computers, and live like computers. We have forgotten our family. I remember how we played gilli danda, hide and seek, and kabaddi. We went for swimming in our local tank every Sunday. Here, we live in an apartment where there is no room to play. Our flat is our world, just like a well for a frog. The world remains unheeded. How happy we were in our school. We used to sit in the same row, did all the work together, and took part in the events. I remember how Padmanabhaiah sir, our class teacher, appreciated us when we got the first prize in the district science fair. I remember we went on a picnic to Koil Sagar. There we went boating. Our tour to Sri Salem was memorable. Still, I remember the green hills full of trees that almost touched the sky. I remember the roaring of Krishna River at the dam. There is nothing here. I wonder at my child's silence. He always sits in front of the computer and plays games, never caring for anyone. I remember the happy moments when our uncle visited us. He brought toys and fruits for us. Our aunt brought me a new dress for Dasra. How we enjoyed Deepavali. Still, I hear the sound of crackers. I can see the rockets flying into the sky, making the night full of light. Where are those days? My child doesn't know his uncle or aunt. For him, uncles, brothers, sisters, we missed them. We missed the joy of the family. We missed their company. We are missing many things in this busy life. Suresh, I don't know where those gardens have gone, those fairy tales, those fruits, those words of love and affection. We have lost our real life in this unreal world. Anyhow, I'm happy that I have found time to write to you. Please visit me. Let's recollect our childhood days of joy. Your loving friend, Ramesh.
Each word.
Unheeded. Memorable. Appreciate. Disgusting. Pave with.
Answer the following questions.
Let us do an activity to check your understanding. An informal letter is given below. Drag the names of the sections highlighted and drop them in the fields provided. Take up the following project work. Observe any 5 families in your neighborhood. Draw your conclusions, advantages and disadvantages of living in a joint or nuclear family using the following format. Click the reference button for help.
Summary. Let us recap the highlights of this section.
This letter was written by Ramesh to Suresh. He apologizes for not meeting Suresh during his visit to Hyderabad. He is reminding his friend of his childhood days when they were in Manikonda village. Every day they used to play in the garden. Ramesh's family was very big. Altogether, they were 12 members. They used to play in the moonlight. Grandma used to give fruits and biscuits. Grandpa used to tell fairy tales about the princes, warriors, and the village boys. Ramesh is working at Microsoft, a software company in Hyderabad as a computer programmer. His wife works at Dell, Hyderabad as a systems analyst. Their child is being kept in a childcare center. Ramesh, recollecting his memorable days, tells his friend that the life he is leading now is so busy that he and his wife hardly find any time to sit together. They work with computers and live like computers. They forget their family. He remembered playing gilli danda, hide and seek, and kabaddi. They used to swim in the local tanks. Here in the city, they live in an apartment and their flat is their world. Just like well for a frog. He remembers the prize in district science fair, picnic to Koil Sagar, and boating. Their tour to Srisailam was memorable. Here, he finds nothing. His child always sits in front of the computer and plays games. He also remembers the happy moments when their uncle visited them and brought toys and fruits for them. He can see the sound of crackers, rockets flying into the sky. Sometimes he thinks of his childhood days and of grandparents, uncle, brothers and sisters. He feels that he missed the joy of the family and their company. They lost their real life in this unreal world. Remembering all these days, he writes a letter to his friend and asks him to come to his place so that they can recollect their childhood days once again. Finally, he concludes his letter by saying him that he had found time to write this letter and share all his childhood memories with him. He invites him to come to his place so that they can recollect their childhood days of joy once again.
Let us now listen to a few famous quotes.
The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others, by Mahatma Gandhi. A good head and a good heart are always a formidable combination, by Nelson Mandela. Your smile will give you a positive countenance that will make people feel comfortable around you, by Les Brown.
Follow-up work. Take up the following activities.
Write a letter to your brother living in another town describing your plans for Ganesh Chaturthi. Write a letter to your friend describing how you celebrated Sankranti. List a few salutations and complimentary clauses which can be used in informal letters.
Situational conversation.
The section Situational Conversation is meant to improve communication skills of the students. These conversations can be enacted as role plays in a classroom. In this section, we will see how to inquire about the trains to our destination. The time is 9:10 a.m. and a person enters the Secunderabad railway station and goes to the inquiry counter.
Good morning, ma'am. How may I assist you? Good morning. What is the next train to Vijayawada? It is Sainagar Shirdi to Kakinada Town Express. When does it arrive? It arrives at 9:35 on platform number 1. When will it reach Vijayawada? It must reach there by 3:45 p.m., ma'am, but it is running late by an hour. Okay, what is the next train then? It's East Coast Express at 10:25 a.m. and arrives on platform number 1. Is this train running late too? No, ma'am, it arrives on time. When will it reach Vijayawada? By 4:35 p.m. or a few minutes after that, ma'am. Thank you for the information.